Hello, I'm Sidney Torres from The Deed, and we're standing in Mike and Andre's living room. This living room brings back a lot of memories because this is where we used to have a lot of our construction meetings. The living room of this house is where everyone would gather. Back in the day, and even now, it was designed to have it as kind of the evening space where after work, people would come and sit down, grab a drink, and hang out in this room. The reason why everybody gathers to this room is because of the light, the natural light coming in, floor-to-ceiling windows. In New Orleans, these windows are very unique. You don't see this in a lot of places where you have windows that go all the way up to the ceiling. And these aren't normal ceilings. I mean, in New Orleans, these ceilings are higher than most homes. In new homes today, they don't put in 12, 13, 14-foot ceilings. In New Orleans, they're all over the place. So I like the idea that Mike and Andre left the high ceilings. A lot of times in renovations in old homes like this, they fur the ceiling down. And you're probably asking why. Well, because people have to put the air conditioned ducts and they have to put the lighting wires and plumbing. In this house, they have big, thick beams that they were able to sandwich in between the beams to run the wires and all the air ducts. And so they really were able to use the height of the ceiling, which is nice. What a difference this kitchen looks like. When I first arrived on the scene, this island was like on an angle. It felt really weird in the room. There was just, the cabinets were ripped off the wall. And, you know, trying to figure out a space or laying out a space for a kitchen, it's important that you take the time and you do it right. And Mike and Andre did that. They really thought about it. They used the natural light for the kitchen. I think it's important to have a lot of natural light in the kitchen. They used earth tone colors. They went with the travertine. They used the shaker style cabinets, which I like because it's more traditional to a house, this style architecture. Even the pulls, I mean, they did a great job with using the dark pulls like this. Lots of cabinet space, even with the top cabinet trim. Gives a nice little feel for an old house like this. Went with all stainless steel appliances. It adds a nice touch. I think that, you know, little things like this add value to the house. Before, they did not have granite countertops. They had like cheap half cabinet Formica. They really came in and they changed it up and put the granite. I think that was a good choice. Costs a little bit more, but makes a huge difference. So now we're in the master bedroom, and this used to be 2 rooms. And so what we did was we took out the wall and we made it one big open room. And the reason we did that is because in New Orleans, there's a lack of old homes with very big, grand master bedrooms. So we wanted to open it up to give a grand feel. When we did that, we ended up having a fireplace here, and it was a big chimney that went up through the roof. And so we realized quickly, as I was looking at this as a designer, I said, you know what? This isn't gonna feel right. We need to deal with this fireplace, because if we leave this here, it's not gonna fit with the bed. The bed's gonna be sticking halfway in the room. The end tables were not gonna look right. We also had a window on one side. And I want things to look symmetrical. I mean, I'm a big fan of doing that. And so for me, I was like, we can't put another window in because the historic district, it would be a problem. We'd have to get it approved. So let's just go ahead and cover it from the inside, leave it on the outside. But the reason I like that is now look, you have the 2 end tables on each side, you have the bed, it looks symmetrical, great look. When you walk in the room, it gives the wow factor, and I like that. All right, so we made it in the bathroom. And this is a part of the house that for me, I love. I think I always say I leave my signature on bathrooms and kitchens because I'm big on making sure that you have a nice grand bathroom with a lot of natural light. As you can see the windows in the bathroom, I really fought to keep the windows in the bathroom. And really, I didn't really have to fight because Mike and Andre thought it was a great idea too. So we worked together to keep those in the picture. I also, through this process, I thought it was very important to make sure that I like symmetry, and I wanted it to line up to the window, the vanity. As you can see here, the vanity is in line with the window above and the mirrors. I think it's very important because when you walk in, you don't want your eye to go to a window that's offset from the vanity. That's very important to me. As you can see, the toilet, you can't see it. That's something that, again, in every development that I do, I like to make sure we hide the toilet. I'm a big fan of big closets. I think in a lot of properties and flipping investment properties, people don't really think through the closets. They don't give a lot of hanging space. I think it's very important to have drawers and hanging space. Dirty clothes, you have somewhere to put them, not just leave them out on the floor. So Mike and Andre did a good job building out the closet, and I think that that's a nice little touch that's going to really help sell the property. We worked out a way to keep the natural light. We have a window in the closet. That's very rare, but I think that's important to have natural light. I'm a big fan of natural light, again, like I've said over and over. So anyway, I'm glad you guys joined me for this house tour, and thank you very much for taking the tour with me. And I'll see you guys later.